Like, what would it mean for you to exist in spaces and not have to like over communicate who you are? And what would those institutions have to look like? Like, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. I think that there is a lot of unlearning that I think is really important for us to do first. I think that you are not able to begin to create those spaces for yourself if you are still, showing up in a problematic way. And I think that there's been many times, in my career that I have had to tell myself, man, that doesn't feel right, or this thing that I'm doing that I've been taught doesn't feel equitable, and let me push myself to reflect on, what I could do differently, or let me go to the individual that told me that this was an appropriate thing to do and ask some questions so that maybe we need to unlearn something together so that we can implement something different. But I think that awareness piece is so important when I think about, how I then start to move in a more liberatory way.
That makes sense. And I also think it then begs the question of like, this is not about like better fitting into any system.
Yeah.
This is about like, how do we like unlearn this idea that we have to fit at all?
Yes.
Like, and I think normalizing being yourself and not people changing, but conditions changing. So when we think about like, to your point, definitions of intelligence or what constitutes as knowledge, if we think about our episode where we talked about like epistemic violence, like how are we interrupting those things so that we can normalize like showing up as your authentic self is welcomed here.
Yes.
And when we create those conditions, people are able to show up as more whole. People are not being forced to split into this two-ness when we create those conditions.
Yeah. I think there is also a part of this conversation where I just want to continue to think about, like, what does this look like systematically? Like, we're having this conversation, but we need to, just like we are very intentional about, the other professional development topics that we think are important to facilitate at the beginning of the year. I think this topic needs to be facilitated at the beginning, in the middle, maybe in the middle of the year. And then at the end, as we think about next year, like this is an ongoing, what Du Bois emphasized is ceaseless training. We have to continuously reflect on, learn, acquire some knowledge about so that we can, come out of this way of double conscious thinking and be authentically ourselves and okay with being authentically ourselves. And people that, see our other way of being because it's culturally, something that we do problematic, you need to interrogate why you see that as problematic so that you can then affirm the people in these spaces that experiences double consciousness.
Yeah, and I think also being okay being a disruptor.
Yeah.
Like, I'm perfectly fine being like, why did that make you uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Right? Like, so that they can, to your point, interrogate that and naming like, hey, like your feelings about that really don't impact me at all. And like the way in which you disarm people who feel like they're going to shame you into compliance or like shame you into conforming. Like, no, actually, I'm going to show up like this and I'm going to outperform you still. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be my Black self and I'm still going to outperform you.
I bet on myself. I'm going to win. If I lose, I'm still winning because I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to win. We always take that mentality into the space.